in the first one, we get the idea of saying that CT scanners can be sort of reproduce fossils that cannot be observed firsthand. Meaning sometimes you can't observe fossils with the help of technology, otherwise it'll like break and then you lose its value. The second one is saying that is giving that the National Museum of Brazil, they relied on this technique. So essentially, they're giving an example of this um, example of this thing being in use. Therefore, it should be option D, for example.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So again, the moment you come across these questions, the first thing that you have to do is you have to see that what is the concept that you're being tested upon. What is the concept? What is changing in the options, Parikshit?
Transition word.
Very good. Transition words are changing. So you're being tested upon the concept of transition words. So in order to answer this, do you need to have the concept of the entire para or just the previous and that particular line will do? Parikshit?
I'm previous in that particular.
Okay. All right. Fine. So it says, because CT scanners can map objects that are impossible to excavate, CT scanning and 3D printing can also be used to reproduce fossils that scientists cannot observe firsthand. So they are kind of, giving you examples of some specific techniques, CT scanning and 3D printing, which probably is used in so-and-so objectives. Okay, by contrast. Now, what is contrast? Contrast is a contradicting linker. So if you use by contrast, then you have to give something which is contrasting. From the National Museum of Brazil has relied on this technique to study a fossilized skeleton that was discovered protruding from a rock here. See, facts are given. Do you see? These are all facts. This is a fact, right? How do we understand that this is a fact? We understand that this is a fact because researchers use those two techniques or rely on those two techniques in National Museum of Brazil to study a fossilized skeleton. And then this. So these are facts. So whenever you are saying something and then you're supporting with a fact, then definitely which means this is an instance or this is an example, right? So this is, for example, this in any ways cannot be the answer. Why not besides? Because this is not another point. Besides is a sequencing linker or a sequencing cohesive device, which is basically used to give another point on the same side of same, I say that I love dancing, I love playing, something like that. But here they are not giving an extra point or another new point, right? They are in fact giving an example or instance of the previous one. Okay. All right. Next. Next.
Ma'am, the ninth one, why not option A?
Okay, let's see. Okay, what is changing in the choices?
Tense.
Okay, tense is changing. Yeah, tense is changing. Fine, correct. Tense is changing. Okay, so if you look at the option, the idea, by contrast, researchers from National Museum of Brazil has relied. So in any case, it cannot be has relied, right? Can it be has relied, Shreya?
Is it because it's completely in the past or something?
Oh, is that so? Anybody else who would like to do the honors of explaining her why this cannot be the answer? Five. Come on, guys. I mean, subject verb agreement. You have researchers over here. Researchers. Isn't this a plural subject?
Researchers plural.
Yeah.
After this, if you guys score a 1400 or 1500 in SAT on 3rd of December, I, being your trainer, will be surprised and amazed. It's a subject verb agreement error. Come on. I mean, researchers have relied, or can in any ways you cannot have has, right? Because it's singular, has, researchers, plural. Getting it, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. It's clear, Shreya, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. Any other doubts anywhere in this? No, that's it. Okay, next one. No doubts, right? Okay, next one, next part. Any doubts here? 12 to 22. Where did Parikshit go? Where is Parikshit?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't realize.
What happened?
I didn't realize my camera was off.
Parikshit is looking, Parikshit's appearance has changed, no, after the family function yesterday, it seems. He looks so fresh after the family function. Why don't you guys take a break and go for some family function for a day? You will also be rejuvenated. Okay. All right. Tell me. So anything wrong? I mean, any doubts? 12 to 22? Nobody? Oh, it was that easy. Oh, okay. Fine. All right. Good. At least, I'm feeling good now that there's a complete text where you guys didn't go wrong with anything. Okay, 22 to 23. No, all correct. Is that so?
Ma'am, this one, 24th one, could
Okay,
you do?
okay. 24th one, right, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody, I mean, so maybe Shreya, you can tell us 24th, how and so how do we need to do this? Yeah.
Let me just read.
Yes, Shreya, tell us.
Yes, ma'am. So this one, the 21st one, the idea is obviously very attractive, full stop. An obscure method of photography may be made available to many with little expense. So after I read with the options, the most appropriate one was B, because the sentence was arranged in such a way that the first part, that the idea is obviously very attractive, and then the second part, an obscure method of photography, etc. It was explaining the concept, so it explained it very well. That's why I went with option B. And when I checked with the other options, some were just too wordy, or the full complete idea meant by the two sentences was not complete. So that's why I went with option B.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's just see. Yeah, she is right, but I would just like to add a little bit more that which choice most effectively combines the underlying sentences. So ideally, you should be having both the ideas, right? You should be having that idea also and this idea, and you basically have to find out that how they both are related, right? How they both are related, then only you'll be able to find it. So Parikshit, tell me, how are these two ideas related?
Ma'am is talking about how the idea of the how the method is attractive of the.
Is that what it is saying, that how the method is attractive? No random answers. Give me accurate answers. It's not a rocket science to understand this language, Parikshit. The idea is obviously very attractive. They are talking about some idea which is extremely appealing and attractive, right? And then they say that an obscure method of photography may be made available to many with little expense. Which is the idea? you get the idea? Do you find the idea? What idea are they talking about? Which is this idea referring to? Which is the idea? Parikshit?
The obscure method of photography.
Correct. This is the idea, right? So think
Yeah.
in this way, this is the idea. The idea is obviously very attractive. And which is the idea that they are talking about? They are talking about this idea: an obscure method of photography may be made available to many with little expense. This is the idea that they are talking about. So they say the idea and then they say that this idea is very attractive. And this is something that you have to combine. Okay, let's look through the options, starting with A for America, Parikshit. Can A be the answer?
I don't think so.
Why?
I think the comma is placed wrong.
Okay, so with the idea being obviously very attractive, an obscure method of photography may be made available to many at little expense.
I
What's-
think the word being is unnecessary over here.
What about the others?
And
Ma'am,
option
here they're assuming that because the idea is very attractive is the reason why photography was available at little expense, but that's
Yes,
not mentioned
yes.
in the para.
Right. See, I mean, the idea is very attractive, right? You give the idea and then it becomes attractive, right? It's not that the idea is attractive and then you give the idea. Are you getting it? What I'm trying to say? You give the idea and then it becomes attractive. You cannot say that the idea is attractive and then you give the idea. So I think A cannot be the option. Okay, B for Bombay. The idea is obviously very attractive and then you have a colon. Now Parikshit, tell me, is this right? B for Bombay.
I think so.
Why? What is the function of a colon and how is colon serving the purpose?
Ma'am, it's explaining what the idea is.
Yes, very correct. The idea is obviously very attractive and then there's a colon. So as I mentioned earlier also, colon is a punctuation which is used to combine, you can say a concept and an explanation, or a term and you can say the definition. So it says the idea is obviously very attractive and then there's a colon and it says an obscure method of photography may be made available. So this is the idea. And this also says why it is so attractive. See, an obscure method is being made available to many at little expense. That is why it is attractive. Okay. All right. Why can't C be the answer? This comma doesn't work. We can use a comma only when we are separating items, in the same list. Like Faiz, comma Shreya, comma Parikshit, comma and Aryaman. But we cannot do it like when we are doing it with concepts. So here there should have been and so. And so the idea is obviously very attractive, something like that. Okay, D, an obscure method of photography, an idea that is obviously very wordy, too wordy. Okay, you're following, right, Parikshit? All of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. All right, any other question that anybody went wrong with in this part? All good?
On the 27th one.
27th one, okay. Okay, so 5 is you're mostly going wrong with the organizational, this logical sequencing questions, right? Because even in the first text, I think you went wrong with that. So you have to work on these. Okay, anybody who would like to do question number 27? Ariman.
Ma'am, just a second. Just read.
Yes.
Ma'am, here they're talking about the artists, like what they're doing. Just a second.
Okay. First, I would need to know, you need to have the concept of the entire paragraph, right, in order to answer this. Yeah. So what is the concept of the entire paragraph? Parikshit, the first sentence. Or read the whole paragraph, Parikshit, and tell me what is the concept that you get. The flow of ideas. Hmm?
Ma'am, it talks about the problems faced by the artist.
Very good. Very good. Okay. What are the problems one by one? Tell me. What is the first
Uh,
problem?
Crowdfunding.
Okay.
There are free.
Okay. I would want Parikshit to be a little bit more precise and have a lot of clarity when you're explaining things. Because remember, if you're explaining it in a very clear way, that means you're understanding it properly. Okay. So see, it says artists such as these Brooklyn performers find that crowdfunding exacerbates problems that already exist. So this entire paragraph, or the concept of the entire paragraph, is basically focusing and emphasizing on the challenges and the concerns with crowdfunding. What are the challenges? First, work that is easily understood and appreciated is supported, while more complex work goes unnoticed, which means the easier concepts are appreciated, they are acknowledged, but then those which are complex, which are complicated, which needs a lot of effort and understanding are ignored. Number one. Time that could be used creating art is spent devising clever perks to draw the attention of potential contributors. So the time is probably used in something which is not needed or which is not that fruitful. In addition, audiences may contain free riders, they did not make contributions. And so what happens is that if they have this facility of crowdfunding, they will start losing interest. See, people begin to feel that paying for the art loved by them is someone else's responsibility. So overall, the concept of the paragraph is that it is talking about the concerns of crowdfunding. Now, the idea over here is crowdfunding tends to attract contributors from a wide variety of professional fields. Now, can we put this idea here at 27? Parikshit, where is Parikshit? I think he has a serious technical concern, no, on his end, I think. Okay. Tell me, guys.
I don't think it should be added because they're always talking about negative effects here. And then suddenly we're adding a positive effect of crowdfunding. I don't think it should be added.
Okay. Everybody else, Shreya, what do you have to say? What are you saying? We can't hear.